Now I'm going to show you how to make rempeyek. There's another version that you can use green peas, which is called tumpi, but for rempeyek, normally you use groundnuts. So first we need 500 grams of rice flour, and you add in your spices, which are ketumbar. You can use either ground spices or the ones whole. Usually the jintan manis, jintan putih or cumin and fennel, normally I use whole spice to give some texture to the rempeyek. You can add your salt and sugar. You can add your dried ikan bilis or anchovies or whitebait. What you do, you soak it up with hot water and you grind it. Some people prefer it to be finely ground. I sometimes have a little bit of coarse ground. Ikan bilis is fine. I like the texture. So you just mix it together and you add your coconut milk. This coconut milk is the thin version, so you can use like 1 cup of thick coconut cream and the rest is water. So again, like most traditional kueh, you really have to look at the texture. For this batter, you need it to be slightly liquid, not too thick. Some version also put a little bit of turmeric for color, so that's really up to choice. The other thing is that if you find the recipe, what you call lime water or kapo, where you can actually find something like this from sundry shops, and it's optional. You can use it, or if you don't have any, it's fine not to use it. It actually enhances the crispiness of the rempeyek. Normally, it's alright for you to taste it to make sure there's enough salt, because I'm using the ikan bilis, which is quite salty. I don't put too much salt. So if you feel you need to add, you just take a taste. Okay, so as you can see, the texture is quite thin, and it could be thinner still than this. So as we fry it, you have to test it to see whether you need to thin the batter a little bit or not. When you use a wok like this and you fry it, you'll have very nice lacy crispy edge, which is actually what you want. If you use the mold that you can get from the shop, you end up with a slightly thick, uniform rempeyek, which is really not traditional. So now what you do is that you heat up a small wok. So you're just going to pour 1 rempeyek at a time. You use a small ladle like this, and you just take a little bit of the batter and pour some groundnuts in the middle. So the first frying portion is basically just to get the shape of the rempeyek. You don't really want to cook it fully. What we'll do is that after we drain the oil, we can either choose to refry it, or like what my mother taught me, because she didn't want to use too much oil, is that we bake it in the oven. So the oil is hot, and just pour it in the middle. You see there's nice lacy crispy edges on the side, and you just leave it for a while until the batter is firm and slightly colored. The reason why you don't pour all the groundnuts into the batter is that you want to make sure that each ladle have enough groundnuts. If you pour everything inside, then you have to start finding where's the nut. So to make sure that the peanuts are in the middle and this one is not, when you pour it you actually need to pour it in a circular motion, which I did not remember to do just now. Why? Some people would say, why don't you pour the batter first and then put the peanuts? You can't do that, because what happens is that the oil would already have, it's already on top of the batter, and when you put the peanuts won't stick to the batter. So those are the things that you learn trial and error. So now that I've given you that tip, you should, you can experiment, but I'll tell you, so I told you so. Okay, now I've fried several rempeyek for the first frying, and as I said to you, when you fry the first time, you use a swirling method to pour the batter, because you can see the difference between the one that I just simply poured into the wok and swirled it. You can see the difference, where the peanuts are more evenly placed. As I said earlier, you can choose either to refry the rempeyek in oil, like what I'm going to show to you now, or you can bake it in the oven at 160°C until it's nice and crispy and brown. There's not much difference between either frying it or baking it. So just make sure the oil is hot, but not, again, you wouldn't want the flame to be too high. So you can add 2 or 3 at a time. So when you fry the second time, you can turn it around to make sure it fries evenly. Like most traditional kueh, the most important thing is to be able to control your fire. Don't be afraid to play around with your fire. If you think it's too hot or too slow, just be very flexible about it. Again, like most fried items, don't wait until it's too brown to take it out. You just, when it's slightly golden brown, you just can take it out and drain it. So if you have any peanuts which has decided to abandon its mothership, make sure you remove it from the oil, otherwise you'll have a burnt peanut and it will affect the taste, the overall taste of the next rempeyek. Wait until it's cool, then you can store it in an airtight container. So there you are, our rempeyek, and I hope you enjoy trying to make it as much as I enjoyed showing you how to make it.